latest news, national issues, the political scene, and conversations with prominent personalities. All these firsthand at the forefront. Good morning. I am Attorney Karen Jimeno. Retired Marine Colonel Ariel Querubin, the most decorated soldier in the Philippine military history, plans to bring his unmatched love for the country to the Senate. With 67 battle scars and as the country's recipient of the prestigious Medal of Valor, will Colonel Querubin's heroism be enough to propel him to the Senate? Joining us this morning live at the BNC studio is retired Marine Colonel Ariel Querubin. Good morning, Colonel Ariel.
Yeah, good morning, Attorney Karen, and good morning to all your televiewers.
Well, this is going to be interesting given your very colorful history. But let's start things light. So we'll show you photos on our LED and give us a brief description of what comes to your mind. So we'll start with this picture. So this is the Philippine Military Academy. So muntik pa raw kayong hindi makagraduate dahil sa iyong misadventures.
Yes. You know, I was incoming brigade battalion commander of the incoming plebes, no? Plebe detail. That would have been probably, I don't want to be presumptuous to say, would have been the regimental commander. But 3 days before that, I brought in 12 liters of Ginebra San Miguel on my birthday. So,
bawal ba ang uminom sa PMA?
Bawal siya na mag-inom sa loob ng campus, no? Pwede naman sa labas. So, in my case, 12 liters of Ginebra San Miguel. So, ay nahuli ko eh. So, sabi nung commandant, Mr. Kerubin, if he will suspend you 1 year for each battle, are you willing to come back? No more, sir.
12 years suspension yun.
Yeah. So, I was indefinitely suspended, meaning I was dismissed, no? So I worked with Metrocom. Doon ko nakasama sila, si Secretary Cesar Garcia, sila General Ed Matiliano, pati si Senator Ping Lacson, si Ray Biroya. I was a suspended cadet at that time. Then all of a sudden, they recalled me back. So ano naman siya, no? Ganon siguro yung Ariel Querubin, masyadong risk taker.
And so, what year did you graduate from PMA?
So I graduated in 1979. So I entered the academy. I was a student before I entered. I was a student activist. So when martial law was declared in 1972, a cousin of mine convinced me, Ariel, kaysa naman na pasali-sali ka ng mga rally na ganyan, why don't you go to PMA para hindi masayang? And sa totoo lang, at that time, I was already contemplating naman kasi I was never an ideologue. Lang din ako. More on the adventure ba, na nagtatapon ka ng pillbox, ganyan.
So not so much on the ideology at that time?
At that time, but then, nakita siguro ng yung mga extreme left, kung ano yung potential ko, kung granting kunwari na ma-convince nila ako to join them no, namundok tayo, then sabi nga nung sir, kung natuloy ka sa NPA, siguro member ka ng Central Committee. Or, sabi nung isa, sir, you will be given a command. Ano naman to? Kasi yung ugali mo, martir ka eh. Maaga ka mamamatay.
And that's what, my father would say, buo loob, sira tuktok. But where was your parents in all of this? Wala bang sinasabi yung parents mo na itigil mo na yan or mag-aral ka na lang?
Actually, kasi I studied in San Fernando, La Union, but I transferred to Manila kasi mabarkada tayo. So, para maiiwas nila ako na sa barkada. Pero ganun din naman. Yung mga ibang barkada ko, pumasok sa Christ-Seeking Seminary, parehas lang, nagkikita pa rin kami. So, nothing has really, nagbago ba or ano.
But they were very strict as parents.
Yes, in fact, sila rin yung nagsasabi sa akin, Ariel, if you want to get rich later on, don't ever enter the government.
Oh, but that you did that nevertheless.
Yes.
Let's look at the next picture. So this is your first wife, Dr. Loretta Cerceña. So, paano ba kayo nagkakilala sa operating room daw?
Ganito yan, Attorney Karen. I was brought to the morgue of the Quirino Labor Hospital. No? I had 67 shrapnel wounds. I was clinically dead at that time kasi yung pancreas ko got ruptured, a portion of the left of my liver, 6 feet of my small intestines
Oh my
were cut
goodness.
off.
So you were already in the Marine at that time? O
Yes.
Tapos na-deploy kayo and nasabugan ba kayo ng bomb? Bakit gano'n kadaming?
Tinamaan ako ng rocket from a Sikorsky helicopter gunship.
Oh my goodness.
I led the assault of Camp Aguinaldo at that time. That's why I was clinically declared dead, no? December 3, 1989. So last December 3 was my 35th year of borrowed life.
You say borrowed kasi you should have been dead.
Yes.
So you ended up in a morgue.
Yeah, and then I was transferred when they saw my graduation ring and my little finger twitch. Nilipat nila tayo sa nakiusap yung mga military surgeons na pwede pa naman yan palpatory pa, pero during mass evacuation they tend to they give priority ba to those who have better chances of survival. In my case, all my vital signs were zero. So I was put in the nung mga tabi ng mga namatay na. Pero nung nakita nila, pwede to. So kinausap nila yung mga gwardiya na nasa Metrocom, no? So I was transferred now to AFP Medical Center.
And that's how you met your wife?
Yes, I didn't know. Of course, what registered in me was patay tayo. Kasi all the elements, all the yung sinasabi nila na ang una mawawala sa iyo, yung sense of sight, and then ang last yung sense of hearing. It happened. So may nakikita ko yung mga tao ko na nagsasalita, kumakausap sa akin, wala akong makita na sa kanila. And then slowly, umiiyak na sila. So alam ko talaga na doon na papunta ako. So eto ngayon, doon na tayo sa surgical intensive care unit after the 13 hours operation of 3 sets of doctors. No? I was being treated. So mahapdi siya yung naramdaman ko. So slowly, sabi ko, buhay yata ako. So I slowly opened my eyes, blurry pa at first. Nakita ko angelic face. And as my vision got clearer, biglang nakaputi siya. So alam mo, would you believe, nagdasal ako sa Lord, sabi ko, thank you very much. I am a mortal sinner, but you have accepted me in heaven. So I thought ba na nasa langit ako at that time.
May angel kang nakita.
Yes, so siya yung naging, si Dr. Loretta.
Wow, what a nice story. So
Yeah.
she was in the operating room at that
Yes,
time.
she was one of, there were 3 surgical teams that operated on me for 13 hours. Transfused 23 units of blood. Equivalent to 11.5 liters.
Grabe, that's more than a working day, 13 hours. And you eventually lost Dr. Loretta. What was that news like? We heard that you heard of her death while you were in the battlefield.
No, it was like this, no. I led the operation that rescued Father Nacorda in 1994. We neutralized Baraha Masali, the leader of the Abu Sayyaf then, August 9. And then August 12, Father Nacorda was presented to then former President Fidel Ramos. August 14, I went home to Manila. A day before I was to go back, namatay ang wife ko. She died of unexplained primary pulmonary hypertension. Our eldest at that time was 1 year, 9 months old. And our only daughter was only 7 months old.
Nako, napakabata.
Yes, so ano naman siya, pag tinatanong ako, ano yung kinamatay ng wife mo? Unexplained primary pulmonary hypertension. So in layman's term, anong ibig sabihin nun? Sabi ni Pong, my wife now, konsumisyon. So hindi naman siguro konsumisyon dahil sa akin. Gusto ko rin sabihin na si Doktor at that time noon, kaibigan siya ni Jenny Napoles, na asawa rin ng isang contemporary ko na Marines. So they borrowed money from her. And then later on, nahirapan na siyang bayaran. So kaya nga had I known ba na the circumstances leading to her tragic death was that stressful, I would have reacted differently nung isinoli yung pera ba sa first night ng wake niya. Isinoli yung pera. She brought a priest and a choir. But of course, Kristiyano naman tayo. Tinanggap natin siya.
So you mean to tell me that time, ang umuutang was your...
Jenny Napoles.
Umuutang from your wife and na-stress yung...
So
that might have been part of the stress at that time.
Contrary to her claim or to their claim na she was rich, she wasn't. No? She was a struggling military supplier at that time.
At that time. This was back in the 1990s.
Early 90s.
How interesting no, na nag-intertwine yung mga characters from even recent news, year and then up to years back. Same characters sometimes keep propping up.
Yes.
And let's go to the next picture since you mentioned also your second wife. So this is your second wife, Pong Ascaraga. Paano naman kayo nagkakilala ni Pong?
Yes. It was like this, no? After the 40th day ng pagkamatay ng wife ko, kinukumbinsa niya lahat ng friends ba, even si Tita Baby, sabi niya, Ariel, kasi kaibigan ni Doktora, dahil yung mga gamot ko nung time na nasa Bilo na ako, ang bumibili, kaya hindi kaya ng armed forces at that time, kasi alam mo naman yung corruption, matindi na nun, no? So yung Padre Pio Foundation, na ang chairperson was Baby Arenas, siya yung bumibili ng mga gamot ko. So naging close sila ni the late Doktora. Sabi niya, Ariel, kawawa naman si Mamang, yung mother ko, she was already 78 years old. Siya yung nag-aalaga nung So,
siya nag-aalaga ng mga anak niyo po at that time?
Yes, at that time. So sabi wag ka na raw bumalik kasi you take care of so, doon ako na bandang huli, naging staff ni Senator Honasan kasi sabi niya, Ariel, you have nothing more to prove. No? Bakit dito ka na lang para maasikaso mo yung
mga
anak mo.
Yes.
But hindi ko makalimutan yung sabi ni Father Jerry Orbos ba, nung ililibing na yung wife ko. Sabi na, Ariel, the sooner you forget your wife, the better for you and your children. So right after ng 40 days na yan, bumalik ako sa field. Nahuli na naman namin lahat ng mga Abu Sayyaf leaders. Then turned them over to the PCINP. Would you believe? Lahat sila nakatakas. Yan, sila Jan Jalani, Bruno, Edwin Angeles.
So nahuli niyo na and then nakatakas pa?
Sabi nila pinatakas daw.
Okay.
So, ang sama ng loob ko. So ngayon, I went home. Sabi ko, bakasyon ko na lang ito. So, pagdating ko na sa Buanga City, nag-attend ako ng isang children's party. Paglabas na ganyan, may tatlo na ang gaganda na sabihin, chicks ba? So, yung isa was a teller of a bank, yung isa nagtatrabaho sa Magnolia, and then yung isa, later on, I found out, nag-retire sa early retire siya from San Miguel beer, San Miguel Brewery. So sabi ko doon sa security ko, kunin mo yung number nun. No? Pero on their way out, sabi ko, can I usher you out? Kasi madilim. Ganyan. Ay, no, tatlo naman kami. Ganyan. So, nung bumalik na yung driver ko, security, kunin mo yung number nun.
So out of those three, ito si Pong, doon ka pinaka nagandahan out of doon sa tatlong magandang babae.
Yeah, I didn't know na annulio marriage niya, mayroon siyang dalawang anak, no? Yung panganay niya, si Martin, was 6 years old. Si John Michael naman, si Jamie, was only 3 years old.
At that time, how old were your own kids?
1 year, 9 months, and 7 months old.
Yung baby talaga.
Kaya nga, sabi ko, if they ask me, God carefully planned my life kasi ibinigay niya si Pong sa akin with two kids naman na I really, I took care, parang...
Like your own as well.
Yes,
Oo.
yes.
So naging mga friends sila. So when we look at this next picture, this is relevant to what you're saying now. You now have 7 children together, yung blended family. So 2 from your original marriage and then 2 from Pong's original marriage and then an additional 3 the
Yes,
common children.
3, yes.
So how is it like to have this blended family?
Well, I am so blessed. I take pride in saying that my eldest graduated from Georgetown University, the first Filipino to graduate with a master's in national security law. When he returned, he was taken in as the youngest member of the consultative commission that reviewed our constitution, together with former Justice Puno. And then he was being recruited to be undersecretary of DND. But mabilis yung San Miguel, kinuha na siya na corporate lawyer. Now he's president of Coco Life.
Oh, wonderful.
The second, he graduated from PMA, from PMA class 2011.
So may sumunod din sa'yo sa PMA?
Yes, I didn't know na nung nasa Tanay na ako nakakulong, sabi niya, Dad, I'll go to PMA. Sabi ko, ano ka yan? Brat ka, papahirapan ka. Would you believe, hindi siya pinahirapan? Kasi yun daw cause ko, maraming sympathetic.
And this son of yours is biologically the son of Pong, pero parang sarili mo rin talaga siyang anak.
Yes, kasi he joined the Philippine Marines, so did his basic Marine officers course in Quantico, Virginia. When he returned, he led this Force Recon team in neutralizing 8 Abu Sayyaf, no?
Wow,
Accounted for all the
nagmana
bodies in
sa'yo.
Looc Sulu. Si former President Duterte flew to Jolo, gave him a Glock. No?
And is he the son right now that's with the presidential security group? He's a close-in security of the current president?
Yes. When he was transferred to Marawi, during the Marawi siege, he was twice wounded. That's why he had a promising military career. He wanted to teach in PMA, na-divert siya sa PSG.
So ngayon, close-in security siya ni President Bongbong Marcos.
PBBM, yes.
Interesting stories.
Yung pangatlo naman is a president of a company, and our only daughter is an MD MBA doing her residency in Southampton Hospital in UK.
Wow, everyone did well. So yung pagpapalaki nyo ba, are you strict with the children? How were you able to raise them as overachievers?
Oh, well, I think it's more of, yung sabi nila, you walk the talk, you set example. I was never strict with them because I was an absentee father. You can just imagine if you go home, pagalitan mo pa sila, lahat baka sabihin nila, huwag ka na lang umuwi.
So Pong perhaps is very good at disciplining and doing the day-to-day.
Yeah, give her all the credit. Kasi
at hindi nila alam yung history mo sa pagdala ng Tanduay Ram sa PMA.
No, Ginebra, San Miguel.
Ginebra, sorry. Wrong advertising pa, no? Ginebra sa PMA.
Yeah.
But let's look at the next picture. You do have a very impressive track record. So you were awarded the Medal of Valor. And you also had 49 military awards. But of course, the most prestigious of this is the Medal of Valor. How did you receive this award and under which president?
Yeah, the accomplishment itself was during the all-out war of President Joseph Estrada. When he was ousted, that was the time that the award was already processed, and it was PGMA who gave me the award. That's why when every time we see each other, Ariel, my hero.
And in what context was the Medal of Valor given? This was for the all-out war against
Against
what?
the MILF. It was
So it's the
during
insurgency.
a 24-hour running gun battle in Kauswagan. This was when the MILF flexed its muscles and occupied Kauswagan municipality. Held hostages to around 329. So yun muna yung na-rescue namin. Then after that, the following day, just to maintain the pressure, I was ordered to run after them hanggang sa natumbok ko na yung kanilang kampo. So 24-hour running gun battle.
Grabe. You must have been very fit to do that. 24 hours, walang tulugan, and all the time running and being active.
Yes, I wasn't. We weren't able to eat our dinner, breakfast, and lunch.
Talagang walang kainan.
Walang kainan.
But you also have an interesting background where you have been associated with coup attempts. In what context naman kayo nagkaroon ng mga coup attempt?
Well, ang sabi nga nila, ito si Ariel, sabi niya, ang ganda-ganda na ng karir niya. Ba't naman, yes, ang kailangan lang niya, just to keep his nose clean. I was promoted to captain in 1983, 3 years ahead of my class, after neutralizing 7 MNLF commanders in Southern Palawan. But my next promotion was 14 long years later because I joined this. Alam mo kung minsan yung prinsipyo ba, yung gusto mo na So, na-delay yung promotion ko. So, at that time, nung pag-upo nung 1986 kasi, pag-upo ni
President
Cory,
Cory
President
Aquino.
Cory, nirelease nila yung mga sila Joma Sison, lahat. And then, doon sa cabinet niya, naglagay sila ng maraming mga
Is this the left?
left ba, na-identified naman sila na yung iba card-bearing talaga. Nung time na yan, meron nangyari sa Indonesia kung saan naman yung mga generals na naandun, pinagpapatay ng mga communist. I remember yung tinapon nila sa bangin, ay sa well, sa isang Air Force camp. Kaya umalma yung General Suharto at that time. Si General Suharto,
Who eventually became President Suharto.
Yes,
Okay,
an army
interesting.
general led a Marine brigade. So he swooped down lahat, nilinisan niya and became the president. So yun yung palaging pinapakita sa amin na video ba nung kabuktutan ng kaliwa, yung nung time na yan, mga komunista. Yeah. So yun ang pinangre-recruit nila, yun ang pinanggagalingan ko. Kasi all my life, diba, nakakalaban natin yung mga...
And you risked your life to...
Yeah, you risked my life
Yeah.
fighting them. Tapos ngayon, ganun yung nangyari. So, ito yung time na my first sabihin na natin na military exercise, kasi we call it not a coup, was when I was teaching in PMA, August 28, 1987. I was recruited by then General Biason, who was a soup of PMA. He said, takbo siya sa 1986, takbo siya sa Zamboanga. Ariel, you have nothing more to prove. I just led the operation to rescue Hans Kunzli, a Swiss national in Luok Sulu. So successful naman yung Ariel, why don't you go back to PMA? Teach the cadets, Put into writing all of your exploits and make it as a doctrine. Replace the old the US field manuals because obviously we are better off in counterinsurgency than them. So gagawin daw doctrine lahat ng exploits ko. Nagpunta ako sa PMA. Inabutan ako noong August 28, 1987. Eventually I was reassigned. So tinanggal ako. Dinala ko sa Southern Palawan. Dito, hindi ba nila alam na yung Southern Palawan is my playground. So ito na. Meron doon meron doon isang MNLF commander, Raquel Carrion, a notorious MNLF commander who torched a bus, killed 6 civilians. Then nag-launch sila ng military manhunt sa kanya. Hindi nila napuruhan, he retaliated, pinasabog niya yung Palawan Electric Cooperative. For 2 months, sinabol-habol siya. Dumating yung Ariel Querubin ng July 22, 1988. July 24, yung bangkay nung Commander Raquel Carrion,
So it took you, what, 2 days?
2
to
days.
find him and neutralize him. Impressive. So how did this all lead to you eventually joining a coup attempt?
Yes. No? So, ayaw nila ako na nasa Manila kasi virus daw ako. I can easily convince my seniors, even my juniors to join my cause. So after that encounter, 10 days later, na-neutralize ko na naman. I was able to recover 11 high-powered firearms from the CPP-NPA. Isipin mo, 10 days lang. So wala na silang magawa kundi, uy, si Ariel, I will send him on a schooling as a reward. So pinadala ko na schooling ng sometime mga January of 1989. So ngayon, I was supposed to defend my thesis ba, sa December na yan, when I went missing. Nalaman nila, I landed at the morgue of the Quirino Labor Hospital.
For the second time?
Yeah, this was my,
ito yung first time.
Yeah, 1989.
Sorry. Okay, kaya pala, that's the trajectory. So all of this time, single ka pa noon.
Yes, single
when you were doing all of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ngayon, nagkamali talaga sila na napadala tayo sa Manila kasi yun nga, so I went missing, nasa schooling tayo, I went missing then. So, with all my wounds still fresh, I escaped from the hospital to live a life of a fugitive. So I was a fugitive. Nag-increase yung reward ko from 300 to 500,000.
But what were you wanted for at that time?
Well, yun pa rin ang issue namin na perceived kasi na diba, left-leaning yung government. So, yun yung pagkaka-indoctrinate din sa amin. Kaya, yun.
So you were wanted for supposedly plotting against the government?
Yes.
For planning a coup as well?
Yeah, magkakasama na kami nila Senator Honasan this time, Nung yun yung pangalawa ko na pagsali sa kanila. Yung August 28, 1987 and yung December 1989.
So, with a person that has that background of having failed coup attempts, but obviously at the time you still served the government as a military, but also thought of entering and being part of a coup attempt. Ngayon, we are seeing a rift between President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara. But you called on the military to stay united. Why did you make that call? But before you answer that question, we'll have to take a short break. At the Forefront, we'll be right back.
Magandang gabi, ako po si Pinky Webb.
At ako naman si Corina Sanchez Rojas.
Ngayong 2025, kombinasyong Corina Sanchez Rojas at Pinky Webb. Dalawang bababahayag na subok sa tapang at talino.
Simulcast tayo sa DWAR Abante Radyo at 94.7 Melo BFM.
Mapapanood din tayo sa Abante Teletabloid sa Sky Cable. Sa bawat issue may anggulo at ang balita may agenda.
Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Rain Musngi. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey.
We empower.
Filipino startups can actually compete globally.
We motivate.
Growing retail interest today from a cryptocurrency perspective.
Changes that are vital.
We have high data privacy standards for all our clients.
Follow the money with Rain Musngi.
Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.
Welcome back at the Forefront. And Colonel Ariel, sa gitna ng rift between President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara, you called for the military to stand united. Why did you make that call?
Well, I should say I have learned my lessons. In my journey, those chapters in my life really brought me bitter lessons. Why? you know what? The animosity that was created from soldiers fighting each other took many years to heal. So, nakita ko yung kasi isipin mo, binabaril ko yung piloto ng Sikorsky na naging 2-star general, Art Orozco. He was my friend. Hindi rin niya alam na yung nasa baba, na sinusuportahan niya sa mga encounters ko noon, yung kaibigan din niya.
Yun na nang kinakalaban niya rin at that time. And you're talking about the time when you were having coup attempts.
Yes,
Ito yung naglalaban. So you were fighting against each other in the armed forces.
Yes. And ang masakit nito, may mga meron nga diyan nabigyan ng Medal of Valor din na nung tinamaan niya yung tangke na ganyan, he didn't know na yung kapatid niya yung naandun sa loob. So, meron din, naputulan ng kamay, naputulan ng paa. Every time na ma-remember nila yung nangyayari noon, very traumatic ba? Hindi na nila pwede ibalik. Kaya sabi ko, hindi yun hindi yun ang solusyon talaga. Even sa akin, every time na nanggagaling ako sa enkwentro, nagdadala ako ng mga casualties ko na namatay, nandun dun yung mga napatay namin na mga rebelde. Masakit sa akin kasi namatayan ako ng tao, namatayan din tayo ng kapwa nating kapatid na nagre-rebelde, no? Eh yun pala, meron din talagang masasabing pagkukulang yung ating gobyerno at that time, di ba?
When you say that you've learned your lesson, are you saying that you regret being part of coup attempts in the past?
No, I never regretted what I went through, no? It was my life was carefully planned by the Lord and everything, no? Kasama lahat 'yon.
But I suppose there are differences as well. Back then, you were fighting for an ideology where you perceive the government to be left-leaning. Well, this time, based on the rift that we have between the president and the vice president, would you say that this is purely politics? Or do you see any ideology that's relevant?
No, it's really politics. You know what, Atty. Karen? Our politics has become so toxic, very divisive. Nakakalungkot nga kasi pwede naman sana na sabi ko nga when I talk before a crowd, I always say na I take pride, no? I have seen and felt a lot of sufferings while out there in the field fighting all these armed groups in actual combat, no? Not once but on several occasions. I was twice jailed, twice given amnesty, brought to the morgue, clinically dead, fighting for what I believe was right. Why can't we all sit down, no? Talk, settle all our differences to end these armed struggles? Because if we continue fighting each other, we will never progress. That was really meant for the armed groups. And then, yung dalawang kampo, panawagan ko rin sa kanila, why can't you just sit down, talk, settle your differences, no? Mas marami tayong dapat pag-ukulan ng pansin ba na nagkakaisa tayo. Yung corruption. Di ba? Yan yung
So ibang dapat fighting other issues na this time. Well, recently we had Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya here at the forefront, and he said that he confirmed that there are also calls from the left to abolish the NTF-LCAC. Do you think that is a good move, or should the NTF-LCAC be preserved?
Well, Atty. Karen, I should really, I strongly recommend we have to continue the NTF-LCAC. You know why? When it was introduced, humina talaga. Kasi noon, nung nasa serbisyo kami, we thought military solution ang kailangan dyan, di ba? Only to find out later on, it's a whole-of-nation approach dapat.
And the NTF-LCAC provides a whole-of-nation approach to address.
Ayan. Kaya kita mo, nanghina talaga sila. Ngayon, kung alisin natin to, baka magbalikan na naman, di ba?
And right now, what would be your advice in terms of settling the issues between the president and the vice president? When you called on the armed forces to be united in this, are you calling them to be apolitical, meaning neutral?
Yeah, they should always be neutral. Remember when I was sacked as a brigade commander, I would have been the first general in my class. I was a brigade commander in Marawi when I questioned the legitimacy of a sitting president. Why? Because allegedly, my men were ordered to manipulate the election results. So I was asking them, the armed forces should always be neutral, non-partisan.
What year was this when they were being asked to manipulate the election results?
This was in 2004.
2004, okay. And now, would you say that the move to take out Vice President Sara in the National Security Council was ill-advised, or do you think that's only fair?
No, you know what? The National Security Council is just an advisory body that gives, recommends to the president whatever problems about national security. So it's the prerogative of the president, really, to get members, no, na pwede magbigay sa kanya ng sound advice, di ba? Kung ano yung ano. So kung ang tingin niya, meron mga personalities na parang sa kanya yun, no? Threat, then pwede naman niya, it's his prerogative, di ba?
So this falls under the president's prerogative, in your opinion. Okay, so now we'll mention categories and state your top 3 answers. So this is part, again, of getting to know you better. So first, what are the top 3 most memorable moments as a PMA cadet? You have 30 seconds to answer.
Yeah, of course, when I was sacked, I was dismissed for bringing in 12 liters of Ginebra San Miguel. And then when I came back, I returned. I was almost caught, no, because I was again drunk. So that will be you're already a recidivist. So I told the sir, kung hindi niyo ako kung ni-report niyo, wala na kay Medal of Valor awardee. And I think what's the last? 3. Wala na ako maisip, yun lang yun na.
So anyway, the time's up, but those are the top 2, which are by themselves very worthy of talagang being memorable. Top 3 colleagues in the military. Timer starts now.
Yeah, General Art Ortiz, a fellow Medal of Valor. Alex Pama, the former director of the NBRMC, and Ed Oban, the Chief of Staff before.
Ano po ba, mga kabatch niyo po ba to sa PMA?
Yes.
Oh, and they're also your top 3 friends from the armed forces. Yeah. Interesting. Top 3 favorite dishes. Timer starts now.
Pinakbet. Yeah, bagnet. And longganisa, vegan longganisa.
Ilocano ah. You're Ilocano?
Yes.
Okay,
my
I'm
roots
also
are from,
Ilocano.
yeah, my roots are from Ilocos Sur.
Oh, that's pareho tayo.
Yeah,
Ilocos
pareho
Sur. So
tayo.
that's why sabi ko puro Ilocano dishes. I can relate. Okay. Top 3 hobbies or pastimes?
Yeah, well, I do push-ups. With my age, yesterday I did 320 non-stop push-ups. Before, I used to participate in practical shooting and sports parachuting.
Amazing. So, pwede kayong pang-action movie up to now. And so you mentioned practical shooting and then push-ups and then sports parachuting.
Yeah, that's skydiving.
But as a Marine, that's part of your training, yung mga tumatalon from the plane?
Yes. Kasi yung Force Recon namin, di ba? You have to do basic airborne course, no?
Ang galing. And up to now, you can still do that. That's why you included it in your hobbies.
Well, I broke my lumbar 1 after I did a pre-fall and then nag-stall yung parachute ko. That was in 1993.
Oh my goodness. Alam mo yung sinabi ata ng friend mo, totoo na. Ikaw maaga mamatay, pero for some reason, God has given you several lives.
Yes. No? Sabi ko nga, ay nasubukan na natin namatay. Ilang ulit na muntik mamatay. Yung mga katabi natin ang namamatay. They were the ones who took the bullet for me. And sabi nga nung nag-interview one time Manong, meron ka bang anting-anting?
Oo nga Kasi
sabi
when you say nag-stall yung parachute, hindi bumukas yung parachute niyo?
Bumukas siya, kaya lang nung prineno ko na ganyan, umikot yung canopy, tapos ako nalaglag na ganyan.
Oh my goodness.
So, I broke my lumbar 1.
Grabe, but look at you, still doing 300 plus push-ups right now at this present day. So, ano nga pong answer nyo? May anting-anting ba kayo?
Nananalig lang tayo sa mahal na Panginoon at kung pag nagre-reflect ako, sabi ko siguro meron pa siyang plano para sa may gusto siyang pagawa sa atin. And nakikita ko lang because I'm so blessed, I have so many blessings, countless, these are blessings from the Lord that probably He wants that I'll share it. All these countless blessings.
Yes, that's a nice way of looking at things. And the top 3 places that you go to during vacations, timer starts now.
In Baguio, Itogon, and then Boracay, and Palawan.
Oh, wonderful. So the mountains and the beaches. And those are, I think, some of the most beautiful places in the Philippines. And bilang bahagi po na inyong legislative platform, yung sinama ninyo dito yung improvement ng healthcare. Sa tingin niyo po ba tama na zero budget ang PhilHealth in this 2025 budget? But before you answer that question, we'll have to take a short break. At the forefront, we'll be right back.
The latest weather updates and forecast.
Could be another tropical cyclone heading towards us at the end of the year.
With information to help us understand important aspects about our climate.
Can you tell us a bit about the jobs that will actually be produced by this project, not just in the construction, but of course in the actual running of this farm?
Weather HQ.
Whatever the weather, only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
The questions.
Why sounds very serious, but
Seryoso,
watch
no?
it.
Di ba parang, cry, may away pamilya, etc.
The issues.
Who are supposed to be on the faces of our bank, of our money?
Bangko Sentral, no? There is a numismatic committee who meets and decides.
We clarify matters.
The 1,000 peso bill was changed from the 3 heroes of World War II to the Philippine Eagle.
Pinky Web is always on point.
Welcome back at the forefront. Colonel Ariel, bilang bahagi na inyong legislative platform, you included here healthcare. So in your opinion, tama po ba na zero budget ang PhilHealth in the 2025 General Appropriations Act?
Ako, against ako. Kasi dapat talaga bigyan nila ng budget ang PhilHealth dahil ang dami naman mga marginalized natin na makababayan, hindi na nga sila nakakabayad ng premium. Wala silang di ba? And the only way ba na maka-avail sila dito sa yung nila sa PhilHealth, yung entitlement nila. Pag tinanggalan mo sila ng budget, paano na lang itong mga mga kababayan natin?
What can you say about the unutilized portions of the PhilHealth's earnings?
Well, yun nga sabi natin na merong mismanagement. Kung meron kang mga savings, tapos meron naman kakulangan sa serbisyo ninyo na hindi ninyo na-address, ibig sabihin may problema kayo.
So still give the budget so that they can increase the benefits for PhilHealth beneficiaries. Yes. Okay, and part of your legislative agenda is also the passage of the Magna Carta for women. What is this about?
Well, we know that there's already a law about that. But, di ba, sabi nga nila, kaya may Congress yan, mayroong Senate, dahil kailangan i-revisit itong mga laws pa na it should always be responsive to the ever-changing time. So, let's revisit and tignan natin kasi marami pa rin akong naririnig na hindi talaga siya yung mga kababaihan, hindi nabibigyan ba ng karampatan na mga rights pa.
So tingin mo kulang pa? Because
kulang pa.
In the United States, for example, but even here in the Philippines, people are saying there's now a woke culture na parang masyado naman daw in favor of women to the extent na yung mga lalaki naman na discriminate. But when it comes to laws, do you think there's still an inequality?
Yes. Sa akin kaya ganun ang ko parang kasi 'di ba yung mga namatay kong tao yung naiwan nila na mga misis nila, 'di ba? Alam mo nahirapan sila even nung alam mo itaguyod kung paano mapagtapos nila yung mga anak nila. Maaring may batas na tungkol dito pero kulang pa rin.
And with your experience having served the government for so long as armed force and a marine, you really have seen the plight of our armed forces. You're also advocating for increasing the benefits for retired military personnel. What can you say about this na ano pa ba yung kulang? And do you think hindi pa sufficient yung mga increases or benefits that were given by former President Duterte?
Ano naman yun, no? Yung kasing, even yung pension namin, dependent yan sa kung ano yung, ang basis kasi nila, yung basic pay ba nung nasa active. Kaya pag nakakita ninyo, pag tumaas yan, tumataas din kami. Gusto nila na alisin daw yon. So sabi ko, hindi natin pwedeng alisin yan. Kasi nagserbisyo, you can just imagine yung mga retirees natin, like me, no, senior citizen, ang mahal-mahal na mga gamot. Ang mahal na So paganda dagdagan pa nga natin, no, ang mga benepisyo nila kasi nakita naman natin nagpakamatay sila, nag-serve sila na maganda no nasa active service sila. So it's really high time for us to give them, no, the necessary benefits.
Ngayon po ba meron ding at least pinoprovide the benefits for dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, just apart from the physical damages to those who serve in the military, yung mga mental and emotional damages that are caused?
Actually, may narinig ako na ganyan na proposal ba na even yung mga namatay kunwari sa battle, no? Dati binibigyan sila ng 1 rank higher. Sa akin, dapat hanggang saan ba'y mararating nila? Kunwari, sarhento siya nang namatay, pwede naman siya maging master sergeant o senior master sergeant. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi siya namatay, tutuloy-tuloy lang yan na kung ano yung dapat matanggap niya doon sa dulo na yan, yun na ibigay sa kanya. So, hindi lang 1 rank higher. I heard that proposal na sabi, maganda yan. Sana ituloy natin.
So those are things that you would look into?
Yes.
If you're able to get a seat in our legislative?
Yes.
And we'll give you 2 choices. So pick one, but no need to answer. This is, again, lighter to get to know you better. Singing or dancing?
I can sing, I can also dance.
So both, Naku, sayang, wala tayong time. Kailangan sana humingi kami ng sample. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Morning or night person?
Night person.
Hindi kayo maaga gumising. I have this impression na mga military maagang gumising at sanay gumising na maaga.
Well, maaga ako nagigising kasi I do my workout before I eat breakfast pa.
But you're naturally a night person?
Well, I much that I could, no? Kasi kung minsan, if you are invited, alangan naman na maaga kang aalis, di ba?
So like the demands of your social life.
Yes,
Diba?
yeah.
Morena or mestiza?
Mestiza.
Dapat pala tignan ko ulit yung picture sa mga...
Hindi, my wife kasi is mestiza.
Motorcycle or bike?
Both.
Both?
Yes, kasi nagmo-motorsiklo tayo noon, kaya lang na-disgrasya na tayo. 3 times na ako na-disgrasya sa motor.
Ano ba yan? Talagang may anting-anting kayo from a parachute, motorcycle, and then, of course, from all your battlefield
and then,
injuries.
Sa bike din, na-disgrasya na rin ako.
Sa bike din, na normal bike?
Yeah, kasi pinagpalit ako ng gulong ba na mountain bike, pinalitan ko ng parang pang racer. So, ang bilis niyan. So, one time, I was practicing for a bikeathon, no? Bagong release tayo sa kulungan noon. Sasama sana ako sa bikeathon from Clark to Magsaysay, Fort Magsaysay and back. So, nag-ano ako. And then, that was hindi ko makalimutan, October 11, 2010. Siguro, October 10, 2010, birthday ni Senate President Chis Escudero, 40th birthday niya, sabi ni President Pinoy. Ariel, I signed your amnesty this morning for you to move on. Somebody will get in touch with you or you try to help us, no? or if you want to go back to the mainstream of your career, may option open sa'yo. Sabi ko, hindi na po ako babalik sa career ko kasi it wouldn't be healthy anymore if I go back just to get my star. I'll be serving under my underclass. Hindi na siya effective kasi alam naman niya yung standard ko. And yung sabi niya na bibigyan kita na may tatawag sa'yo, I know na they might be giving you a position sa Pero that was the time naman na nagkita kami nung boss ko. Sabi niya, Ariel, kumusta ka na? Sabi niya, ito po, doing my my duty as a father. So hatid sundo ng mga anak ko. Enjoy your much needed vacation pero huwag ka na tumanggap ng trabaho. Amin ka na.
Saan to? Sa San Miguel. That's why you're in San Miguel now. So ang boss na yun became RSA Ramon Ang.
Yes.
Interesting story. So just give us one word to describe yourself. One as a soldier.
A dedicated one.
Dedicated. Husband?
Yeah, a faithful husband.
Father?
Well, a responsible father.
Filipino?
Filipino. I'll die for our country. I'll die for our country.
So martyr. Totoo yung sinabi nila, martyr. So just last question. Now you're running for Senate. So a lot of people, if you don't know that yet, so you are running for Senate now in the 2025 elections. What do you have to offer that's different given your also super unique background?
Well, I can probably say that Ariel Querubin has the political will because, of course, he is God-fearing. Hindi siya magnanakaw. Kahit na may konsensya siya, no? Ni Cinco, hindi siya magnanakaw. And makakaasa sila na yung Ariel Querubin, sabi ko nga, I have dedicated my life all for love of God, country, and people. I will not fail them.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Colonel Ariel Querubin. It was a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney.
Former Marine Colonel Ariel Querubin has already offered his life and soul serving the country as a heroic and decorated military officer. Today, he is willing to offer the same dedicated public service, this time in the legislative branch of the government, if he is given the opportunity this 2025 election. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news. Always stay at the forefront. Join us again tomorrow for meaningful conversations that would help you form an objective personal opinion. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Thank you for spending your hour with us.